This is Metrosource Minis, the official podcast of Metrosource Magazine and home of short-form interviews with your favorite personalities from the LGBTQ world and beyond. Quick, fun, and informative. It's Metrosource on the go. Out and proud since 1990. Well, ho, 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 it's the holidays. This is Metrosource Minis. I'm your host, Alexander Rodriguez, lead writer for Metrosource, and avid podcaster. All right, anybody else single this Christmas? Guilty. HBO Max continues its quest to represent the LGBTQ community in a wide variety of programming, and adding to the mix of We're Here, Equal, and Legendary, they have added a delicious holiday treat that is our current Christmas guilty pleasure. So while stuck at home with nothing to do but take selfies and watch TV, what better way to pass the time than with some drama and some holiday cheese? HBO Max's 12 Dates of Christmas, set in a stunning winter wonderland, an actual castle in Austria, follows three hopelessly romantic singles on their journey to meet the special someone they hope to bring home for the holidays. The show features Garrett, a gay man looking for love, but Corey Lay, video game and app developer and fitness trainer, was among the contestants to try his hand at love. And while he didn't make it to the end, he made a long-lasting emotional impression on the show. And in showing his emotions, he hopes to show younger people watching that it's okay to put your emotions on display. It's not a weakness. Corey is an LGBTQ and Black community activist with an adorable smile and a winning attitude. We'd gladly spend New Year's Eve with him or longer. Please welcome Corey Lay.
Hello. I am so happy to be here, Alexander. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. So I had to watch the whole season in one sitting, and now the reunion is now streaming too. So I literally watched the whole season. So we're gonna get down to it.
Okay, let's do it. Let's ask all the questions. Let's figure it out. I grew up watching reality TV. I watched The Real World. I watched The Challenge. I watched The Bachelor and Bachelorette. So reality TV is something that I've always really enjoyed as a consumer. And when the opportunity came around to potentially go on it myself and try to find love, there was no hesitation at all. I said, let's do this. I'm going to meet my other half. Like, it's all in on day one. And yeah, I grew up watching it and honestly wanting to be a part of it. And then when it came around, it was like a dream come true.
So what was the audition process like? Did you have to submit a tape? Was there a few auditions? What did they ask you to do?
So it's really interesting. They actually messaged me on Instagram, DMs. They said, hey, we're doing a Christmas themed dating show. Would you be interested? And literally within like 5 minutes, I just said, yes, let's get on the phone. Let's talk. And so because I was one of the last people cast, from beginning to end, from that first DM to being on a plane to Austria, it was a little over 3 weeks, I think. And I did not meet a single person in real life until I landed in Austria. So it was a lot of Zooms, a lot of phone calls, a lot of questionnaires on what do I like, what do I don't like. And then it was so fast for me. There were some people who did go through like fly to LA, do the audition loop, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I just got lucky, I guess. And they liked what they saw.
Well, I have to tell you, 3 weeks is a really short time for reality TV casting. I think, yeah. And this was before COVID, right?
Yeah, so we successfully wrapped filming safely and stuff in the middle of March, like right before everything shut down, right before COVID went really crazy. And we actually finished filming in Austria, I think the first week in March. So we flew back and then we filmed the stuff in Louisiana at Garrett's house. So we were just right on the cutting edge of that.
Yeah.
Cutting block of that.
Well, and it's funny that they slid into your DMs. Your social media is fire. I mean, we get muscles, we get shirtless, we get some booty, we get a lot of booty.
A little bit.
Oh my God, that one piece like romper that you had with like the reindeer coming through.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, I think it was like episode 2. You turned around to the camera and I was like, whoa, that's a booty.
Oh my God, thank you. So I do not skip leg day. I'm always doing my squats. So,
obviously.
I try my best.
You know what? If I listen to a fast-paced song, that's my cardio, and then I call it a day. So, Corey, you kind of went in with a total open heart that we saw right off the bat. But did you really think that it was possible to find love on reality TV? And do you think now that it is possible to find love on a reality TV show?
So I did think that I could fall in love on a reality TV show. I told myself that if someone out there is crazy enough like me to go on a Christmas themed dating show, we're already a little bit of a match because we're both like taking this leap. And the way that I saw it was it's going to be accelerated, it's going to be fast. We're going to skip all the BS of normal dating and just like get down to can we work, can we not work? And it didn't work for me, unfortunately, through my experience on 12 Dates of Christmas, but I saw it with others. I saw it with Anthony and Faith, and I saw it with Chad and Kate. And I am still a believer it can happen. I mean, Chad and Kate, spoiler alert, they're engaged and they just moved in with each other. And that is what I thought could happen to me or was going to happen to me, and it didn't. But I believe in it now more than ever because I literally went through it and saw it happen right before my eyes.
It's very interesting, your perspective, having been on the show and me watching it, binge watching it, some of the relationships and things that I'm sure that you got to feel, due to editing might not have come across. The whole Faith Anthony relationship, I wasn't sold on, and I'm still not sold on it. So it's very interesting. But your journey and watching your journey, I saw so many things that you did that I tend to do in my own dating life that didn't work so well. You seem to fall in love so fast, so strongly. In looking back at the show, did you think those feelings were real? Wasn't that a bit too much too soon?
So the thing is, I was going on a dating show, so I'm not going to hold myself back. I will say, in real life, if I'm dating someone, I don't necessarily. So I do show up, and I'm always myself on day one, and I tell them exactly how I feel, but I don't necessarily throw myself that much. I knew I only had a specific amount of weeks to get to know Garrett before he would meet my family. I would meet his family. And that is what I came in trying to do. So yes, I did go very strong. And I just think that's the point. If you're coming into this experience and you're not able to open yourself up and throw yourself off of the cliff of love, then I just don't know if it's the right thing for you, because this is not real life where you can wait 12 months before you get to know somebody and get to take them home. And I did come on strong. I wouldn't have changed anything about my experience. I mean, ultimately, the stuff Garrett saw from me, he was going to probably see eventually. So I don't mind. And honestly, me and Garrett are actually very good friends now. We talk all of the time, and it's just we had a difference of where our connections were at the time, and that's totally fine with me.
But do you think you can fall in love after a few dates, after a few days? Is that a real love feeling?
So in my life, I have aunts and uncles who got engaged after 2 weeks, and they've been together for over 30 years. So I am a believer that when you know, and you can know quickly. And to be fair, I never said I was in love with Garrett. I wanted to spend time with him and get to know him. And a lot of my disappointment through my experience came from feeling rejected, feeling like the rug was pulled from underneath me. It wasn't necessarily like I wasn't professing my love. It's just I wanted love. I wanted to fight for love, and I wanted a chance to be seen and heard. And that is really where my frustration came
from. But you are still single, right?
I am still single, yes.
Now, did your DMs just like change overnight once the show premiered? Like, hey, girl.
Oh my God. So I've definitely got a lot of DMs from gay men, and I love it. I love the attention, but I've also gotten a lot of DMs from women and people who are just like, I see you, I feel you. I've been through that. Thank you for just like being vulnerable and sensitive, because like a lot of people are, and I think they're afraid to just show that side of them. So it's been a mixture of like thirsty, hey, Corey, you're hot. And then it's also like, Corey, I understand you. Thank you for standing up for us, the sensitive people, and just expressing yourself the way you did.
Well, and I love that they put a gay man and two straight people, because we saw little, some of the similarities of what dating life is like, regardless of your sexual orientation. We see what kind of games people can play. We see the emotions that can happen. But straight men watching to watch Hot Faith will see men be emotional on all different sides. And so I love the idea that your storyline reached a lot of different people. And you did show a lot of emotion. And as gay men, when we cry or emote, there's a general reaction to roll your eyes and be like, oh God, that queen is being overly dramatic. Oh God. But you wanted to show a different kind of side of that. Can you explain a little bit more?
Yeah, so I'm obviously a gay man, but I'm also a black man. And black men, when the way they're depicted in movies, TV shows, reality TV, it's very one-dimensional. Like you have to be strong, you have to be angry, you can't show your weaknesses, you can't be vulnerable, you can't cry. And I wanted to come in here 100% myself. And if I want to cry, guess what? I'm going to cry because I think people need to know that it is okay. You're not weaker by showing your emotions. And that's how I live my life. And on this show, with this audience that's going to be watching it, I just knew in my heart that I couldn't show up and suppress any part of me, pretty much.
So let's talk about your role as a black man on this show.
Yeah.
It's a hot topic, and I really wanted to talk about it with you because you are so candid. Something that was brought up in the reunion special that just aired, by the way, on HBO Max, the joke was made that Faith, the straight girl on the show, was clearly only attracted to men of a darker color. And it was kind of brought up during the season, but it was a big funny joke at the reunion. And it's funny that Garrett's first contestants were you, a black man, we had an Asian man, and then we had a Latino. And then the white guy started to show up, and then Garrett was like, oh, God, I'm in love now. It was like there was the diversity check for gay men, although we didn't have any husky guys, I want to point. But
season 2, maybe. Let's tell them. Yeah.
Hello, HBO Max. Big girls need love too.
Yes.
But I saw a double standard in that we could joke about Faith only being attracted to darker men would have been made about Garrett, which I think it was a little obvious that once the white guy started to come up, he all of a sudden was chasing after them, having these love kind of feelings. But if that was said, the whole gay nation would have gone crazy, saying, you can't say that, that Garrett was only attracted to white men, which brings me to the whole grinder debate. You're attracted to what you're attracted to. You can't physically tell your body to be attracted to something. You just naturally respond. But why is it not okay to be open on a Grindr profile and say, I'm not attracted to this, or even in real life saying, I'm not attracted to whether it be a ethnic background or a body type? Why, as a gay community, are we trying to dissuade that?
I think it comes down to respect. Like, first off, to talk about Faith and her attraction to black men. So when she had white men in front of her, she still went on a date with Kevin. She still talked to Wells, talked to Tyson. She did not just disrespect these people and say, oh, you're not my type. You can't even spend an ounce of time talking to me. And I think when it comes to now talking about like the gay side of things, and honestly, I just want to say, I do not think Garrett does not date men of color. I mean, I actually think he prefers Latino men from what I've seen. And looking at his diverse friend group, he does have friends from everywhere. Like, I don't want Garrett to take the narrative that he does not date or gives people of color like less of a chance with him. Like, I honestly think him and I did have a connection and a spark, and I will defend that he does not. Like, I don't think it's a colorism thing with him. I know that it's very big in our community, but like, I will refuse to say that about Garrett. The Grindr thing is really just, if I'm sending a message to someone, for example, their response should not be, I'm not attracted to black men. That is disrespectful. That is rude. If you're not interested in me, just say, do casual small talk and then just stop the conversation. You don't need to say, I don't like black men. You're not my type. You're ugly. All of these things, because what does that do? It's a form of cyberbullying. It hurts. It brings people's insecurities out. People have committed suicide over things like this. So I think there is just a level of respect in how we communicate with each other as gay men that should be upheld. I don't care if you like black men, just don't fucking treat me like trash. Like, if I want to talk to you, talk to me. And if you don't want to talk to me, don't talk to me, but like, just don't say rude things. That's what it boils down to. People's bodies or whatever, they're attracted to what they're attracted to. But the last thing that someone needs to do or I need to do is make somebody else feel like they are worse or less than. And when you see someone's profile, it says no blacks, no femmes, no Asians, whatever it's going to say, that is just, what is the point? You don't have to talk to everybody, but you don't also need to make them feel like they're nothing.
And I was playing devil's advocate with the whole Garrett situation,
Yeah,
and how
right.
reality TV can edit things, and how a community can also grab onto one thing when there's a full narrative. And I love what you said
Yeah,
about communication and respect. I think respect has gotten lost in the dating world in general. I think we're
yeah,
so quick to jump into bed with somebody. We're so quick to be sexual about it. And I know, the gay community has a bad rap because, and we even found out 12 dates, Garrett couldn't even keep it in his pants. But we become so overly sexualized, which is a big part of any relationship.
yeah,
But it all comes down to respect. And the more respect you show others, it's also respect for yourself as well. And I think we need to
yeah,
get back to an old-fashioned respectful level of dating. Not meaning you
yeah.
can't have sex when you want to have sex, but
Right.
that it's based on actual communication rather than dick pics or top, bottom, verse.
Right.
And you know what I found? Even hookups, when you connect with somebody, it makes the hookup even hotter. If you want to put it
Oh,
on
of
that
course.
level.
Of course.
Um,
Yeah. It is not just about like, I want to feel passion. At the end of the day, I think you can tell, like, I'm a very passionate, emotional kind of
yes.
person. And that's what drives me. Like, sex is sex, but like I want sex with passion. Otherwise, like I don't need you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I really love that theme of respect in
Yeah.
anything, whether it's a hookup, whether it's a first date, whether it's a
Yeah.
first year anniversary. Okay, what are your tips for a great first date?
Yeah, so great tips for first date. I would say show up and get to know the other person. Don't make it all about you. Don't talk about what you like, what you don't like, what your dreams are. Like, you really want to connect with the other person. So ask questions, ask follow-up questions, like actually make a concerted effort in getting to know this person, because at the end of the day, if you're with somebody for 50 years, their looks are going to fade, right? What matters is what they believe in and how they talk and how you guys have a rapport. I think stay optimistic. Don't talk about exes. I said that in my interview on the website. Like, don't talk about exes. It just makes me think that you are not over your ex. And
Yep.
if you bring up an ex in the first date, I'm not gonna have a second date with you. I'm sorry. Like, eventually we'll talk about that and whatever, but like I just don't want to cross that line. Whether it's positive or negative, don't mention your ex, please. I don't care. Let's just move forward and go on from that. And I really think just try to have fun. Everyone is so serious. Like, I like first dates to be an activity, things that we can distract ourselves with, maybe just be a little bit competitive and flirty or whatever. But like, I hate dinner dates. I don't want to do a bar where we're drinking. I don't want to be around other people either. Like, a gay bar for a first date is trash. Do not ever take somebody to a gay bar on a first date. You're never going to make a connection. You're just going to have all these other men that are just like looking at you and just like, I can't. It's just weird. So yeah, do something fun. Go play golf or frisbee or just something in a park.
It's funny you say don't bring, and so many dating experts say don't bring somebody to a bar or,
Yeah.
especially in the gay community. But it's very funny. What I wish people were to do more on a first date is just be who they are 3 months
Yeah.
later. Everybody's on their best behavior, dressed in their best outfit, go to an expensive restaurant. If you like to eat at Sizzler, go to Sizzler on your first date. If you want to order
Yeah.
Panda Express and drive somewhere, do that if that's who you really are, because I would rather
Yes.
find that up first. So if somebody goes to the bar often on the weekends and they're a nightlife person, if that's who they are and that's what they usually do, then I think that they should do that on a first date. And you can say right
You're
then,
right.
hey, you know what? That's not the environment. I don't want to spend my weekends at the Abbey. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, no, that is a very good point. That is a very good point. You show up as you are, be yourself. If you want to go to a bar, go to a bar. That's not the best first date idea with me specifically, but for the other person that you may be going on a date with, maybe they'll love it and you two end up together, get married, have kids, all that stuff, or whatever you want. So yes, show up as you are. Ignore my advice because apparently just do what you want. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm still
Well,
single,
I don't know,
honestly.
Court.
So.
You're single and I'm still single, so I don't know. But you know what? I think it's because we've learned that this is what we want and this is what we're not going to put up with anymore.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm not going to waste 3 months kind of, testing out the water. I've been there,
exactly.
done that. And then there's 3 months that have gone. And again, it goes back to your theme of respect. When you
Yeah.
respect yourself, you're gonna see red flags, and that's gonna be enough for you because you're gonna move on. And there will be somebody out there. And having fun, I think, is so important. I think that's one thing I got from watching Garrett is that he was so serious, and the whole like fun aspect was kind of forced, and it really wasn't natural. Maybe he's just not a fun guy, but
I will say in regards to that, it is a very stressful situation being
I can
there.
imagine.
It was stressful for me, which is why some of my emotions came out the way that they did. And for Garrett to be the person who's making all of the tough decisions, who gets a date, who goes home, who am I going to spend time with? Like, you know, I think it's just tough for anyone. I do think he was fun. Like I think about our date, like our apple strudel date was so fun in episode 3. Like you only see like our conversations in there, but we sat there for.
I saw you having fun.
Well, well, I'm very goofy and silly, and I like making jokes like about myself. So that's just how I do my humor. So like I had my little like thing on my face and stuff. But no, like we were there for like an hour and a half, literally an hour and a half, making this apple strudel, baking it, and all of that, and it was so fun. It's just I think some of the tenser conversations are kind of what come through because those are what's important to like our connections, and that's what you see a lot of. Yeah.
It's funny when they have gay guys go on a cooking or a baking. It's like, bitch, they don't eat. Look at their waist size. They don't eat.
That was like, honestly, before I went to Austria, I was like very low carb because I was like, what if there's a hot tub? Like, I just need to like look my best. And that's honestly, that's not the way to live your life. As a personal trainer, I don't tell any of my clients to ever do anything like that, but I just got in my own head and I was like, oh, let me just like, I don't want to say starve myself, but let's just not eat carbs, only protein and only vegetables and nothing else. And I went a little crazy.
What did you learn most about yourself from filming 12 Dates?
Oh gosh, what did I learn about myself? So, you know, I did learn a bit how much I've always known that I dislike rejection. You know, like I hate rejection and I have a lot of insecurities around that. Growing up as a Black gay man and seeing things in people's profiles, you know, not like feeling like I am less than. And honestly, the way the gay hierarchy is, Black men, Asian men, anyone who's dark, we are like considered less attractive. And so I didn't necessarily realize just kind of how close to the surface those feelings were for me. And a lot of my frustration and my emotions on the show had less to do with Garrett and more to do with men in my life in my past who look like Garrett, who have done really bad things to me. And it just brought back all of these triggers and emotions. And so I learned that I just learned I have a lot of that inside of me, more than I thought I did. At 30 years old, you know, I still have some of this stuff that's just been built up over years and years and years of dating and being disappointed. And I'm glad I went through this experience. I'm glad that I got to kind of confront that stuff head on. Like normally, if I'm emotional, I'll go and sit at home and just like not leave my house for a weekend and just like binge watch TV and just like disassociate from whatever's going on so I can like calm myself down. And in this situation, I was there were cameras, I was on, I couldn't really get away, and I had to just go through it. And I think going through it ultimately made me realize some things and is going to make me stronger. Like for the next person I date, like I'm just going to really understand myself a bit more, what I want, what my insecurities are, and maybe I'll handle them better the next time around because I'll know that I have these insecurities so close to the surface that they won't just like come out of me in like this uncontrollable like crying. Like the moment you see me crying in episode 2, like, you know, you can't really tell, but I was like sitting on the floor, like bawling my eyes out. And then like these cameras, obviously, you know, they come up and they just, you know, they start asking me questions. And my breakdown in that moment was a lot harder than I think it harder for me than like it comes across because it was so short. But in reality, it was like a little bit longer than that. And I must say, I know I'm rambling, but I must say that like the straight guy, Kevin, who showed up with me, he was actually my rock through that whole experience. We had a lot of conversations about like how I feel, what am I doing? Like, and I could lean on him for support when I wasn't feeling like I was getting the support I wanted from Garrett. So it was, you know, I'm glad I had him there with me.
Well, and also in showing your emotions and even communicating that with Garrett, that's another part of dating that we've kind of hid behind. Now, you know, we're ghosting each other, or we'll send vague one-word texts, and we think that that's communication. It's like, it's okay to call somebody on their action if they're dating, and if it hurts you in a certain way, it's okay to say, I didn't like that you did this, or I need you to explain yourself because I deserve it. And again, it's respect. And you should be able to, you know, ghosting, you should be able to go up to the person and say, that's not cool. Why? This is how I feel towards you, and you
Yeah.
need to answer. You need to take responsibility.
Right. And that is exactly what my goal was for the reunion. I wanted to just speak my mind openly to somebody. And I did. And there were no hard feelings to Garrett, but I think he needed to really understand how I felt and what my emotions were about. Because at one point he did say, I think Corey just wants attention. And I'm like, this is not about attention. It's about the way your words are impacting me and making me feel about myself. And you need to understand that. And I'm really glad I got to have that conversation. I'm really glad that it was there and I got to just express that, because I wasn't just irrational and crazy for the sake of it. I was really feeling these big insecurities because at the time I felt like I was being led on, and I needed to stand up for myself and to stand up for other people who've also been in this situation who didn't necessarily get like the opportunity to like confront the person about it. So going into the reunion, I said, I need to say what I need to say now so I can let it go. I need to be at my peace and I need to make sure I am heard, because I think Jose has his own story and like him and Garrett had their own stuff, but I just cared about me and I wanted to talk about me and how I felt, because everything I feel is real and it's not just dismissible as I'm needy or wanting attention. I literally have real emotions. So
And I really think you could see how it affected Garrett. And, now in his dating journey, he's still single. He's going to think twice. And I think everybody showing him how they felt affected his final decision. I was shocked. And no spoiler alert for those that want to binge it like I did, because it's fabulous. But,
good.
He makes a big decision at the end that I was surprised by. And I don't think he would have made that decision if he wouldn't have learned to respect other people's feelings and respect himself and what he wanted as well. I think that was a perfect kind of end to his story, because it's not an end to his story. It's just like, this is where he's at now. It doesn't mean that's where anybody's going to be at in a few months. Okay. So, but I want to know, all of these hot guys, you have your 2-hour dates, but the rest of the time you're wandering around this huge, beautiful castle. Were there any behind the scenes shenanigans?
I will only speak for myself. But when you get kicked out of the castle, you do get sent to like another hotel before you fly back to the States. And so I got kicked out, and then a couple days later, Zach gets kicked out, and
he's so cute. His Zach personality. Oh my God!
I love Zach. He's so quirky and fun and goofy, and it's all him. It's so real. Like off camera, on camera, he is that person, and I love him for it. And he lives in Oregon, so like we're super close. I'm in Seattle now.
He told me to say hi to you, by the way.
Oh, hey! I don't know where he is right now. He's probably working. He's a flower farmer, so he's out on the fields, I'm sure. But no, so Zach and I had a little bit of a moment in Austria in the hotel, but that was just a one-time thing. We're friends, it's nothing more than that. I think it was just, we're both very frustrated. We're stuck in this hotel, and guess what? There's no other gay men here. And we it was an emotional thing being in the show, and we got to get through those emotions together, I'll say. So I love that kid.
We're going to leave it at that. I know that there's some more stories there.
Look, I'm just going to talk about me. You have to ask the other people about themselves, but I'm...
Oh, Lord. What was the first thing you did when you got home from filming?
Oh, my God. Honestly, so I was living in LA. I moved to Seattle in May, and I got back from like Louisiana filming in March. And the very first thing I did is I think I went to like Flaming Saddles with my friends in LA, because it was still open, and I was like, I need to just chill. Actually, no, it was Chapel. We went to Chapel. We were sitting there like at the tables drinking, and I was like, I need my girls. Like, let's just talk and gossip. I need to unload all of this emotional baggage that I just went through, and I need I just needed my boys. And I think we just got, I don't know I blacked out or anything, but I definitely drank way too much. And I just was living on that moment of, let me get all this out of me before I go crazy. And these people that I've known in LA are like, I've known them for like 10, 15 years. These are my best friends. They know everything about me, and they're like family. So I just needed their support.
And isn't it funny filming a big, a big part of your life? This was a journey for you,
Yeah.
filming it, and then having to wait so many months, and then having us go through this COVID insanity,
Yeah.
this political insanity. Isn't it weird to film such a great project and then have to sit on it? And it's like, oh God, you just want to share what you went through.
Oh, and life changed so dramatically. So we go to Austria in February, we come back in March, we film Louisiana, and then the world is shutting down. And then George Floyd happens, and there's all this social unrest. I moved to Seattle, and like the election stuff is happening. And literally, I think it was 8.5 months between filming and then the first episode airing. No, I don't know if it was that long, but it was a decent amount of time. And I really couldn't say anything. Like a few people knew, my family knew, because they were like, gave the thumbs up to film if I brought somebody home. And yeah, it was just an emotional roller coaster this year, but I do think it made me better. I think the lockdowns have really allowed me to slow down. I move very fast through life, and I'm always thinking about the next thing, and having to sit back and realize, where am I going? What am I going to do? Like, what makes me the happiest? I really just got to like sit at home and think about that for like, I think 6 months straight. I was not leaving my house that much. I bought dumbbells. I bought like a spin bike. I don't have to leave my house for anything. I was doing like grocery food deliveries. So yeah, this year has been insane, but I'm so thankful. I think I've become a better person through the show and through things that have happened outside of the show. I think I am like on the path to success for the rest of my life. So I'm very happy.
Well, and I'm very thankful for you sharing your story, because it is great to see a dating journey. It's great to see somebody that is so open to a relationship. It's great to see somebody at home with their feelings and not afraid to share that. So I thank you for that. Are you ready to play a little rapid fire?
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go.
Okay. Biggest red flag when dating somebody that you will not ignore?
Oh my God. Okay, rapid fire should be fast, right? Biggest red flag is if you're a slow texter. I'm sorry, you're sitting at home, you can respond to something in like a couple of minutes. You are not that busy. I don't care what you say.
Oh my God, I totally agree. They're either up to something or you're just not a priority, but nobody says, oh, I didn't get your text. Bull.
Right. Your phone is always in your hand, always, or it's in your pocket. You felt that thing vibrate. You decided not to respond. Like, I'm sorry. I know if you ever get a response from me that's really late, I'm gonna tell you now, it's because I'm ignoring you or I did it on purpose. I always know when I get a message. Like it's just not a thing.
I could be dead in my casket. I'll be like, oh, that bitch just texted me.
Right.
Okay. Who else in the castle would you have gone home with?
I will say I was most attracted to Dominic. I saw him when I got kicked out, and I really love a pretty face and like a cute person. I love clean cut guys, and he was the most clean cut. I think Steven, if him and I spent more time with each other, you don't see this, but we have like a moment one of the nights, like on the couch, getting to know each other when Garrett was off with Jose. And Steven and I, like, if we had spent more time together, I could have gone home with him, honestly.
You know what's funny? Everybody loved Dominic. Everybody loved Dominic. He just reminded me of Brent Corrigan. He looks like Brent Corrigan. So
oh my God.
Like, I was like,
oh my God. Like, a little, now that you said it,
I can't unsee that. Yeah, I can't unsee that. Okay, who's your celebrity crush?
Oh, I can't say his name. Ronaldo, the soccer player. He's he is everything. He is the body, the face. Like I love it. Like I said, I love a pretty boy. He has a great smile. And he's athletic, and he's kind of a douchebag, and I love all of that.
But did you see his before plastic surgery and before makeover pictures?
Oh no! What did he look like?
Why don't you Google that? You might be like, oh, wah wah.
Oh, well, I see him now. That's all that matters, right?
That's all in the past. All right, Corey. What is the worst Christmas gift you've ever received?
The worst Christmas. So the worst is just not getting one. So like I've dated men through the holidays, and I don't think they've ever gotten me a gift. Like we spend like Christmas Eve together or whatever, but I've never gotten a gift, and that is just shitty because I love giving gifts. I love getting gifts, and I've never gotten one from a man on Christmas. So that is just hand down my worst gift. All
right, everybody. So now you know when you slide into Corey's DMs, then you have to also send a present.
Yes. Yes, please. I'll send you my address.
What would your drag name be?
Oh my God, Wakanda Sykes would be my drag name. It's so good. One of my friends like made that up years ago.
That's
and I'm like,
hilarious.
yes. Especially because like I'm strong. So I like the Wakanda. And it's just like, somebody do me in drag, please. Let's get it done. I would not look good though. I'm telling you now, I would not look good in drag. But I would totally live my life 1000%.
That has made my day, literally. That's the best I've ever heard. Okay, tell everybody where you want them to find you and follow you.
Yes. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It is Corey Lay. That is Corey. And my last name is Lay, just like the chips. Find me. Let's chat. Let's have fun. Let me know what you thought of the show. If you thought I was crazy or not crazy, I just want to hear it. I enjoy laughing at myself. And if you can tell me a good joke about myself and my dramatics, like let's do it. Let's laugh together.
Well, I love chatting with you. I really needed this kind of pick-me-up before the holidays, for sure. That has been my chat with Corey. You can read my in-depth interview with him at metrosource.com. And that's our episode. I'm your host, Alexander Rodriguez. You can find me on Instagram at AlexanderIsOnAir. And until next time, stay true and do you, boo. That has been another MetroSource Mini. Like, share, and subscribe on your favorite podcast player, and check out the latest issue of MetroSource magazine on newsstands or online at metrosource.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram at MetroSource, and on Twitter at MetroSourceMag. Until next time, stay fabulous.